this grabbing her with the belt around the neck, that was just the worst. Because you could see how much she just didn't know what he wanted. She died in my arm. And she had stopped breathing. But he asked me to hold up in the garbage bag. And I held it open for him while he put her in there. And I couldn't look. I had to look away when he actually did it.
On the morning of October 29, 2007, a fisherman on the western edge of Galveston Island, Texas, made a discovery he would never forget. A small plastic container had washed up on the shore. Inside was the body of a young girl, left alone in the salt and the silence, with no name and no story. Just the nickname the world would give her, Baby Grace. As investigators scrambled to piece together who this child was, a composite sketch of her face was released to the public. It quickly spread across television screens and newspapers, reaching far beyond Texas. Hundreds of miles away, in Ohio, a grandmother paused when she saw the sketch. She recognized the child's face immediately. It was Riley Ann Sawyers, her granddaughter, who she hadn't seen or heard from in months. She started asking questions. And back in Texas, Kimberly Trenor, Riley's own mother, realized she had nowhere left to hide. At her side was her new husband, Royce Zeigler, a man who would soon become a central figure in the investigation. On November 23, 2007, nearly a month after the body was found, Kimberly walked into the Galveston County Sheriff's Office. She was there to speak with detectives, and what she would say next would unravel the truth behind Riley Ann Sawyers' final days. This story isn't just the story of a lost child. It's the story of a mother, Kimberly, whose choices would shock even the most hardened investigators.
Kimberly, what we want to do is talk to you a little bit. I'm sure that you know what this is all about. Our interest is the whereabouts of your child, Riley. How do you spell Riley?
Riley.
What's her middle name?
Ann.
Just A-N-N or not an E at the end?
Just A-N-N.
Okay. And the last name is?
Sawyers.
Excuse me?
Sawyers.
S-A-W-Y-E-R-S?
Mm-hmm.
And how old is Riley?
2.
What's her date of birth?
March 11th of 05.
Okay.
I had been talking with Royce, who is my husband here in Texas.
Okay. Now this communication, was this done by phone or internet?
Both.
Both, okay.
Yes.
Where did you meet Royce? Did you meet him on the internet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In a chat room or something like that?
On an online game.
Okay.
Type of deal. So I mean, we had known each other for a while. It started getting serious, and he wanted to come and visit us.
When do you recall? And I don't mean to interrupt you. When you met him on the internet?
Probably towards the beginning of the year.
Okay, that's good enough. Okay.
Around the same time, Royce asked if he could fly down, meet with me, meet my dad, meet my stepmom, kind of thing. And at the last week in May, he did so. He spent
Now, had you ever met him in person before?
no.
Had you ever seen any photos of
Yeah.
him? Okay. He
Yeah.
sent you some through the net and all that stuff? Okay.
Yeah, I'd seen photos and all that.
Right.
Talked to him. I had my dad go with me when I went and picked him up at the airport. He purchased Riley and I tickets to go and visit him in where he lived in Texas here.
And where was that at the time? Where was he living in Texas? Exactly where y'all are at now?
No, it was Veranda apartments off of 1960 in Spring there.
Okay. And when have y'all moved? You moved out of there because you have a different address now?
Yeah, just like this past couple weeks.
Okay.
We moved in with his parents.
Okay. Was there any specific reason as to why? Was it financial that y'all moved in with the parents?
Yeah, because they knew in order to get Riley back there was going to be attorney fees, and they wanted to help him out as much as possible to try and get through this so we can get Riley back, which they didn't know. They still don't know that it. Anyway.
They don't know what?
They don't know Riley is Baby Grace.
Riley is Baby Grace?
I'm positive.
All right. Talk to me about that, please.
Take your time.
Yes.
After about 20 minutes in the interrogation room, Kimberly finally says it. She admits that the little girl found on the island, known only as Baby Grace, is her daughter, Riley. You can see the detective's reaction instantly shift. After weeks of dead ends, they now had a name, a mother, and finally, someone who could tell them what really happened to Riley Ann Sawyers.
Okay. Well, I moved down here to be with Royce. I brought Riley with me because I'm not going anywhere without my 2-year-old. Because of everything that was going on in Ohio, I already talked to my dad's lawyer there, and I asked him, hey, if I move out of this situation here at Cheryl's house, do I take Riley with me? If I move, do I take her even though her father is still there, or whatnot? And he said, yes, you are her mother. You have custody. She goes where you go.
You're a managing conservator. Go ahead.
So, she came with me when I moved down here, obviously. Everything was doing great. I mean, he bought her anything we couldn't bring with us, like a bed and a place to put her toys. That we
Royce
thought-
being Royce. Okay.
Yes, Royce. So I mean, we got her room set up, and everything was great, and I mean, we were really happy. I didn't have to work. He was supporting both me and Riley. I mean, and he went and got me in my van. He bought me my van. We were going to talk, and we went into talks with a house builder.
Mm-hmm.
He was going to buy us a house. But over this, he started to realize, Riley had some discipline issues, which I knew.
Okay.
I knew before I even left Ohio, I knew about that. I mean, when I moved down here, I was just getting to the point where she would sleep by herself.
Okay.
She had always been spoiled when we were living at Cheryl's house.
Mm-hmm.
Riley would be sleeping with Cheryl, would be sleeping with me. She wouldn't sleep in her crib, she wouldn't sleep in her bed. She slept with someone. So I was just starting to get her to sleep by herself, and be okay with it, not come and wake up and all that. I also knew because of the situation in Ohio, all the tension, too many people around, that she had some listing issues. She
What kind of issues, babe?
like following orders,
Okay.
listening to us,
All right.
not really saying please and thank you kind of thing. A great example, I know Cheryl and I and Rob's brother went to see Shrek 3 when it came out. She would not sit in that theater seat no matter what you did, you could feed her Skittles, which she loved, popcorn, tell her to sit down, she would stand up, bothering the people in front of us, you know, would not sit on Cheryl's lap, would not sit on my lap, became so disruptive that she didn't even see the end of the movie because Cheryl had to physically remove her from the theater because she would not sit down and behave.
Okay.
So I knew there were issues when we go out in public.
All right.
Kind of thing where you put her in a shopping cart, she's gonna grab at things, she's gonna kick you. You know, all of stuff that I witnessed and knew about from being in Ohio.
So, and I'm not trying to interrupt you, but are you saying that as a normal 2-year-old child, there was a little bit more of an issue than the terrible twos?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
yeah, there was. I mean, she was bright and she knew that you told her no, she wasn't supposed to do that, but she would do it. I mean, I understood terrible twos were trying to do the potty training thing. If somebody had been consistent with her, you know, the potty training could have happened before we were trying to do it, you know.
Was she potty trained?
She was getting there. She was going pee and potty, not always going poopy. She had done it once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
So she was in the middle of it. She was still having accidents. We were still kind of doing pull-ups, but Royce wanted to kind of stray away from that
Okay.
and have her wear undies. And we were in the middle of that.
Was she wearing panties often?
Yeah, I mean, the only time we tried to get her to not wear, she's completely wearing undies is if we went out. Then we would put pull-ups on her. If she was home, she was wearing undies. I mean, and there were days you'd have to change her 3 times or more because she didn't go to the potty.
Okay. Did that frustrate Royce?
Yeah.
It did? Well then, let me just ask you this. Had you ever seen him spank her?
Yes. I mean, he really kind of tried to stay out of it at first
Okay.
and say, you know, hey, you're the mother, but look, you gotta do something. When we went to that realtor about the new house, that's when it really started with him. And I mean,
What really started with him?
we need to discipline Riley.
Okay.
Was she acting up when y'all were meeting with this person? Is that what this was about?
Yes.
Okay.
And he became, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but was he becoming short with her, frustrated?
Yes, we were in a little office with a glass door, and he actually said, you don't want to sit down and, you know, sit and be good. Then he opened the door and left her out in the bigger room to run about while we were trying to sign paperwork.
Okay.
And I mean, luckily there were people out there and I could kind of keep an eye on her.
Right.
But I mean, that was, she's going in the other room because she won't sit. She won't stay. She won't stay in one spot. She won't eat anything. She won't let you sit her on her lap, you know. He'd also been hearing it from his parents. His mom and his dad had seen how she says she wants things, which is normal.
Mm-hmm.
And they would try to get her to say please, or, you know, and if you took something away from her, she would go into a crying fit.
Mm-hmm.
And an unnecessary length of time for a crying fit.
Okay.
And I mean, they saw this and they were telling Royce, look, you gotta you gotta do something. She needs to behave better than what she is. I mean, you know, and he told me he even got a call from the guy at the real estate office saying, you know, that 2-year-old was out of control.
Okay.
Running around, couldn't stay in one spot. Her mother couldn't do anything about it. And I mean, I was trying. She would run away. Why don't you come sit on my lap? Let me do your hair. She'd sit on my lap for a couple moments. Off she'd go. And I was not ever into spanking her.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to do the corner or something.
Time out.
Time out, something along those lines. And I had started doing that in Ohio. However, I wasn't quite sure how to deal with it when she was out in public. You know, and Royce wanted me to be more aggressive and to do more than just put her in timeout.
Okay. Well, I asked you earlier, had you ever seen him spank her? How many times had you seen that?
I'm not.
If you're not sure, that's
I'm
fine.
not sure. Like I said, he usually tried to keep it to me
Okay.
until he really started getting harassed by his parents, by, you know, the real estate guys calling saying, hey, this kid was out of control and your wife sat and did nothing.
When was it that y'all were going to this realtor about this house? How long ago was this?
It had to have been in June.
Okay, so shortly after you guys got married.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and let me just, you know, we can talk some more and get more detail, but you said the grandparents, his parents, do not know that Riley is baby Grace.
Correct.
How do you know that Riley is baby Grace?
Up to this point, Kimberly has spent most of the interview talking about how difficult Riley could be, how she would cry, throw tantrums, or not listen. The detectives know this isn't unusual. Riley was only 2 years old, and toddlers are often challenging. But none of this explains how a little girl ends up in a plastic container washed up on an island. And that's what the detectives want to find out now. They need to know what else Kimberly knows about what happened to Riley and whether she holds any responsibility for her daughter's death, because now they're no longer searching for baby Grace's name. They're searching for the truth.
I was there.
Okay, tell me about it.
Well, he'd been getting all this pressure from everybody. He was telling me, you know, we need to get her disciplined. Obviously, your timeouts aren't working. It's going too slow. There's maybe some improvement, I can't tell, but there's not enough to where I'm not still getting harassed about it. And so he suggested to me that, you know, we start with the spanking.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really enjoy the idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I did spank her,
Mm-hmm.
but it was never hard. I mean, and if she was wearing a pull-up, she probably didn't even feel it, kind of deal. And I mean, Royce just said, that's not enough. You need to spank her harder. If you can't spank her harder, then use a belt. Which I never resorted to if he wasn't around. If he wasn't around, no. That's not what happened. He's not around, timeouts, maybe a spanking. Now, the day it happened, it was Wednesday, I believe, in July.
Wednesday in July.
24th. I'm almost positive. He decided to stay home from work. Called and said he wasn't feeling well, but he really wanted to stay home and make sure I was disciplining Riley.
Okay.
Like he had told me, look, if she gets bad, you go for the belt. You don't take it.
Are you saying he stayed home for the purpose of making sure to work with you about disciplining Riley? He tell you that?
I think originally it was going to he wanted to stay home, but I knew he wasn't completely convinced that I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing if she acted up and he wasn't home.
So he wanted to monitor your disciplining activities with Riley?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, and I mean, prior to this, he did, show me and introduce me. This is the belt. We're gonna sit it right here. She's bad. You're gonna have her go and get it for you and bring it back to you. And you're gonna smack her with the belt on her butt.
Was it your belt, his belt?
His belt. And I mean, he did this mostly, he came home at night, saw she would do something, so I wouldn't respond right away, and he took it upon himself. Told her, get the belt. He was also trying to do the corner thing, stand her in the corner, but she had to stand in the corner the way he told her. Feet together, hands at your sides. You don't do that, he smacked her with the belt on her butt.
Okay.
Now, before this day, she did have a black and blue butt.
Before Wednesday the 24th.
Yes.
Okay.
And, I mean, it looked like it was working. I didn't approve of it, I didn't like it, I didn't like doing it, but he told her to go stand in the corner, no coercion, she did that, feet together, hands at her side, automatically, I mean, she would go do that. So, it was working, I wasn't happy about it, and he just said, well, we got that, we gotta work on some other things, And I know his mother saw her black and blue butt and told him, no more belt, you use your hand.
His mother saw this?
His mother saw the black and blue butt and told him she doesn't want to ever see it again. You use your hand or the corner, something else. You don't use a belt anymore because she's black and blue.
Okay.
And I felt terrible about it. I didn't want her to be black and blue.
I'm sure you didn't. You're doing okay, Kim. You're doing fine.
But he just kept saying, well, it's working and it works if I'm home, but if you tell her to go stand in that corner, she doesn't listen to you. So I know you're not using the belt when I'm not around. So yeah, I think really that day did turn out to be, he wanted to make sure I'm using the belt when I'm supposed to. Because he could see, he told her to go do something, go stand in the corner. She does it automatically like that because she was afraid. But I didn't have that yet. And he was seeing that and wanted to make sure that she needs to do that for you. She can do that for me, she can do that for you. And the reason why she's not is because you're not going after her hard enough like you should be. So that day, he stayed home from work. Originally started to be, we could sit around and watch some TV. And Riley got into something, I'm not sure what. And he started with it.
With the belt?
Go get the belt. I think it was, she said, I want. No, you say, please can I have? You don't say I want. You need to be polite and say please. And then, I mean, it just escalated from there. We tried, you know, he's telling her, you don't say I want or I need. You ask for it and you say please. And he was trying to, he said, we need to break her.
He used that term, okay?
He said, we need to break her and make her do that. And he said, look how well it worked with how she goes and stands in the corner. So, I don't know how it escalated into anything she did if it wasn't what he wanted her to say. She got a belt whooping. She screamed. She got a belt whooping. She got her head shoved into a pillow on her bed. Or on the couch.
Face down?
Yeah. And then he started to,
Now this is all happening on the same day? Okay.
yeah. And then it started to be, well, that's not doing enough. Because she's still screaming. So he told me to go run some water in the bathtub. Some cold water in the bathtub. And I did, and he said, okay, the next time she screams, we're going to take her into the bathtub. And of course she's going to scream the way he was hitting her with that belt. I mean, I accidentally got in the way of it and it bruised me. Once or twice that day. I mean, he didn't stop with the belt at some point. It was wherever he could hit her. Her legs, her back, anywhere. And if she screamed, it was he picked her up, sometimes by her hair, take her into the bathroom. And he laid her in there. He put her in there. And she started to scream. Or he had her stand up and wanted her to say a certain phrase, like, can I have some milk, please? If she didn't say it, he would smack her with the belt. And the moment she would scream, he would take her and shove her into the water.
Okay. You're doing fine. Okay?
No matter how horrific the details become, the detectives know they can't afford to let Kimberly shut down. She's talking, and that's exactly what they need her to keep doing. So they continue their calm, steady approach, careful not to break the fragile flow of Kimberly's cooperation. They try to make her feel like they're on her side, because as long as Kimberly feels like they're listening, she'll keep giving them pieces they need to understand exactly what happened to Riley.
I know this is very hard for you, Kim, but we have to ask you to keep going. And then we can take a break in a little bit, okay? But you're doing very well. Okay. Take a deep breath.
And this would just go on and on. And I mean, he wanted me to do it. He wanted me to shove her head underwater. And I found myself doing that and hitting her with the belt because he was there. Because that's what he was doing. And I mean, it just seemed like it went on and on and on, and no matter what she did, she was gonna get smacked with his belt. And at some point, he stopped it. He stopped it so he could give her some Tylenol and put ice on her bruises and have her lay on the ice packs. And we didn't have enough ice packs, and we had some Freezy Pops that he laid down on a blanket on the floor to let her lay on. And so it stopped. And he said, I think we've done enough for today, and we're just going to take care of her now. And the ice will help get her bruises down, and the Tylenol, and he had some Biofreeze to make her numb that he put on. And I thought it was over. But for some reason, it started up again.
Did she start crying again?
I don't think so. I think
Was she conscious?
yeah,
She was awake.
she was awake. And I mean, she was just trying to recover, and we had the ice on her, and we had given her the medicine. And I don't know, but he started it up again.
He did?
Yeah.
Okay. But you don't understand why? You don't recall her crying or anything like that?
No,
Okay.
I don't remember why it started again.
Okay.
But this time, I think it was even worse on her. Because he went and he switched out belts. This one, he was using wasn't thick enough. And he took a thick leather one.
He's now started using a thicker,
A
okay.
thicker belt. Yeah.
Was it a dress type belt or like a Western style belt?
It was black, interwoven, heavy leather, the kind where it doesn't really have holes, but you can
Right.
put it through wherever.
Does he still have this belt? Do you know where it is?
He threw it out.
You don't know where? Okay. What about the first belt?
And he threw that one out too.
Okay, do you know where that belt is? Okay. Can you, before you go any further, can you describe the first belt?
Brown, real thin leather.
Brown, real thin?
Yeah.
Okay. You remember the buckle? What color the buckle might have been on either one of the belts?
I think the brown one might have been gold, and the black belt was
Silver color?
silver. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So
But
it started up again.
it started up again, and it was even harder because it was a different belt. It was thicker. It hurt more. And he just kept hitting her if she didn't say what he wanted her to say. At this point it was, Mommy asked you a question, you answer her with yes ma'am or no ma'am. I ask you a question, you answer me yes sir or no sir. And all he wanted her to say was yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. And he was screaming at her to say yes sir. She didn't say yes sir. She was hit with a belt.
Where?
Anywhere on her body. She was standing up, and it did start. You go over to the couch, you bend over, and he does it. But now it was, she's standing up. It just, wherever skin is exposed.
Okay, do me a favor if you would. Put your purse down and show me exactly how he would swing this belt, please.
Okay.
If you can remember.
I know he was standing up. I think it was.
Would he fold the belt like it was double? Or would he just use one end of it?
I think it was just one end.
Was it the end with the buckle or the end without the
No,
buckle?
the end without the buckle.
Okay. But he would swing the belt, he wouldn't swing it like you just did. How'd he swing it? If you have to stand up, that's fine.
He had it, and it was just as hard as he could.
As hard as he could.
As hard as he could.
And he was standing up when he would do it, just like you were. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so she was on the couch and he would hit her anywhere on the body.
Well, if she was on the couch, she was leaning over the couch, and he would hit her on her butt, on the bottoms of her legs. And sometimes it would hit. I mean, he had done it so much he was complaining that his shoulder was hurting.
He said that?
Yeah, his shoulder's hurting from all this. But I mean, at this point, she was standing there in front of him, and if she didn't say yes sir when he told her to say yes sir, he hit her. And then wherever it would land, on her arm, on her leg, anywhere, if she would scream, it would be back to the cold water.
How much water was in the tub?
It was filled a good halfway.
Halfway? Okay. And it was cold water?
Yeah, yeah.
Was she naked during this time? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
But I mean, it just got to a point where she didn't say yes sir. He said, you say yes sir. Right now, you listen to me. I asked you a question, you say yes sir. She didn't say anything, she would be hit. I mean, and if she tried to run away, it got to the point where he would go and grab her and and throw her across the room. Or he would go after her with the belt and take it around her neck and drag her back to where she was supposed to be standing.
When you say he would throw her, how would he do that? I mean, would he just pick her up and throw her? Would he grab her by the arm and throw her? Can you be a little more detailed?
I guess it depended on what he could grab. If she was running away, I mean,
Do you remember?
not really.
Okay. Well, it might come back to you. Okay.
I remember it hitting so hard one time you could hear it a crack on the floor.
You could hear. Okay. Explain that again now. You would do what?
We have all tile floors, and the one time you could hear her smack on the floor.
When he would throw her?
Yeah,
Okay. Tile floors.
yeah.
The tile floors were in what room?
It's the entire house.
Excuse me?
The entire house is
The entire house.
tile.
What room was this occurring in mostly? I mean, I know you had the bathroom, and that was when y'all would, or he would put her in the water.
Mostly the family room. Like
Excuse me?
The family room by
The
the
family
couch.
room?
Earlier it had been in her room a little bit, and that's where the pillow, him shoving her head into the pillow if she screamed.
Okay,
But mostly it was right there in the family room.
okay.
Take your time. You're okay. You're doing very good.
I remember at some point he did bite her.
He bit her? You remember where?
I think it was on her right hand.
Okay.
He said it was, he accidentally did it. I don't really remember during all this when it happened or why it happened or if it was or wasn't, I don't know. I mean, this grabbing her with the belt around the neck, that was just the worst. Because you could see how much she just didn't know what he wanted. And just there was a point where during this she said, "I love you," and it stopped for a brief moment.
She said that to who?
She had said that to me. I think she had said that to him. But the next time it happened, he said, "She's trying to trick you.
She tried what, babe?
She's trying to trick me." Because at some point I was, using the belt.
Mm-hmm.
And, he said you can't let her say that and let her control you and make you stop. He said she's trying to trick you.
Okay, and when you said she tried to trick you, is that your understanding, or is that what he's trying to tell you?
That's what he's trying to tell me.
Okay.
So he's alluding to, by her saying that, she is trying to trick you into
Stopping.
stopping.
Um, I'm just trying to remember if there's anything. Anything else that had happened?
Let me ask you this, how many times, you said a while ago that you could hear her hit the floor, okay? Do you know how many times this may have occurred?
I know for sure once was really hard, but it was at least a couple more times.
Okay. And this is when he would throw her or slam her? Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah. Well, and when it got to a point after one of those times, he had pulled her back with the belt around her neck. He had pulled her over to the chair he was sitting in and told her to stand up. That's when she couldn't stand up.
Why couldn't she stand up?
She didn't, it looked like she didn't have control over her legs anymore. And I was concerned about what I was seeing. And he did stop at that point. But he stopped, but he told me, this is just another act. It's just another her trying to get us to stop beating on her. She's just pretending. So he held her for a little bit and he tried to get her to stand a couple more times. But she couldn't.
How long of a process did this entire beating and in the tub, how long of a process was this?
Almost the whole day.
Almost the whole day? Do you recall maybe what time this may have started with the beginning of the discipline?
It was that morning when he woke up for work.
And what time is that?
Probably around 6.
So he made the phone call and called in sick. And then sometime after that is when the disciplinary action began. And do you recall maybe how long in the day?
I don't know, it was well into the afternoon.
Well into the afternoon. Do you recall when she ever lost consciousness?
You mean like what time? Or
Well, tell me what happened. I mean,
well,
was she dead that day? And how do you know she was dead?
well, what happened was he was holding her and trying to get her to stand.
Mm-hmm.
And kept saying that she's faking, she's faking. And I think he finally realized that she's not really faking. She really can't stand. he gave her some more medicine.
What kind of medicine?
A Tylenol,
Okay.
one of those chew tabs
For children?
for children. Yeah.
Okay.
She had this terrible problem with liquid ibuprofen. She would see that little cup of orange liquid, and she would scream and run, and there was no way you were getting that in her. And that was something he wanted to work on that day too. And I remember one of the times we were in the bathroom, he had told me to go get the ibuprofen and to bring the little container, and he poured some in, and she would scream, he would put her under the water until, I mean, she got to a point where she was grabbing for that cup
Mm-hmm.
and to put it up to her mouth. And it wasn't always medicine, because once he got enough medicine into her, he started to reiterate it with water in there. But anyway, he had given her the chewable Tylenol, and she was having problems chewing and swallowing it right. And I really think that was the point. He realized, you know, she's not faking this. She can't be faking this. And he started telling me, well, we can, I sat down and I said, we have to call the police, we have to call 911. We have to get her to the hospital. Look at her, there's something wrong. And he said, no, we can't do that because we'll go to jail. So he had me sit on the couch and he brought her over to me. And I was holding her. And he was watching her and making sure she was still conscious and still breathing and her heart was still beating. And there came a point where she stopped breathing. And he started doing CPR on her, on the floor. And he is just only, I can't keep doing this on the chest compressions with the breathing because her heart's still beating. She's just not breathing. And he said, well, she's got to be choking on that Tylenol we just gave her.
Who said that?
He did.
Okay.
Royce. So he was sticking his finger down her throat, trying to find it, trying to see if it was really there. And he couldn't find it, and he had me try, and I couldn't find anything. And
When he would do that and you did that, would she try to gag back? No.
No. And he eventually just had me sit on the couch and handed her to me. And I could just feel her going cold. And we had a heating pad on her because we thought she was so cold from the ice that she needed to be warmed up, but the heating pad would help. Wasn't helping. and she died in my arms. And she had stopped breathing. And her heart eventually stopped beating. And she had died in my arms. And everybody said we couldn't do anything because look at her, she's black and blue.
What did y'all do with Riley then?
Well, Royce came over,
Royce came over? Okay.
picked her up, and went and laid her in the bathtub.
He laid her in the bathtub? Okay.
Did you let the water out or water still in there?
No, there wasn't water in there.
It was not.
There was not. He laid her down there.
Did he know she had passed away? Okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
And he closed the curtain and came out and said that we need to clean up and get rid of the belts, get rid of the pillow, get rid of anything, the freezer pops, the ice packs, get rid of anything, and that we need to go to the store and get bleach and trash bags and
Why bleach? Was there blood?
No, there was no blood. But he wanted to scrub her down and with bleach and make sure there were no fingerprints on her.
Okay.
And so he had me get in his truck and we drove to the Walmart.
Both of you did? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of truck does he have?
Dodge Ram, blue.
A blue Dodge Ram?
Yeah.
This is a pickup, right?
Yeah.
What year is it?
I'm not sure.
Fairly new.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, go ahead, I'm sorry. So he drove?
Yeah.
Where's the Walmart located at, do you know?
Off of 249 on Spring Cypress. And also, I think before he closed the curtain, he had covered her in a bath towel.
Okay.
But anyway, he drove me to Walmart. And he'd take a shopping basket and him take a shopping basket. And he didn't speak to me at that time. He just pointed and nodded, you know, and we went and one of the first things we found was the container.
Okay. And describe the container for me.
Blue, plastic, had latches. I think it might have wheeled. He made sure to pick it up like this, so I wasn't touching it.
Okay.
And he put it in my cart. And we went on, and he went and then we got a chain and some quick cement.
Okay, what kind of chain?
Just a metal, metal one,
A metal link?
link, yeah,
And did y'all get that at Walmart also?
yeah.
How long was the chain, do you remember?
It ended up not long enough to actually fit around the container, so we didn't use it.
Where is that chain now?
It might be in storage, but I think another thing you got rid of.
Okay. Well, you brought up a good point, not to interrupt you. Do y'all have a storage building?
We have a storage room on the side of our garage,
Okay, and is this at the
Ensley.
Ensley Circle? Okay. Do you know where he got rid of this stuff?
It was, I think the old apartment complex he used to live at.
The verandas.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he went in there and used those dumpsters because they're familiar. He knows he can get in and that kind of thing. And he might have used other ones. I'm not quite sure.
Do you know what, okay, so the day this came public about Baby Grace, is that when he disposed of everything?
Actually, we didn't find out about it until a week after it started on the news. I made a habit not to watch the news. I didn't want to watch it. Actually, how we found out about it was his mother sent his brother over to the house and brought up the MySpace webpage about it. Put everything in the car, or in the truck, I should say. Drove back home, and he put on the gloves, took everything into the bathroom, and kind of told me to, stay in the other room. He didn't want me to see what he was doing. But he poured bleach over her, scrubbed her down. He said he poured bleach down her throat, made sure she swallowed it, because he said he didn't want our saliva to show up from when we were doing CPR on her.
You can see the detective pause for a moment, trying to process what he's hearing. These detectives have decades of experience and have seen some of the worst cases imaginable. But what Kimberly is describing is beyond what even they're used to hearing. But they can't let it show. No matter how horrifying the details, they have to stay neutral, keep their expressions calm, and continue gathering every piece of truth.
And he took her and got ready, and he called for my help, told me to put a pair of gloves on and to hold the trash bags open for him.
Now, is she still naked at this point?
Yeah, and I told him, you can't put her in there naked. You have to let me get her some clothes. So I went and I picked out, I was trying to find a dress, but she didn't have any dresses. The best I could find was that little skirt and top set that my mom had got her from Target.
So who dressed Riley?
Royce tried to, and he had problems with the top and the way the sleeves were. so I helped him out and got it fixed on her. And got it fixed right.
Okay. And then what happened?
And then he again asked me to hold the trash bag open.
Mm-hmm.
And it was hard to try and fix her shirt because she had already gone stiff. You know, she had already started to stiffen up some.
She started already what?
To stiffen up.
Okay.
It was hard to move her.
Mm-hmm.
But he asked me to hold open the garbage bag. And I held it open for him while he put her in there. And I couldn't look, I had to look away when he actually did it. And then he tied it up and put her in 2 more trash bags, which I helped open.
Okay.
On one of the trash bags, we noticed that a couple of my hairs had fallen onto the trash bag.
Okay.
And he picked them out and tossed them to the side, so they weren't in the trash bags or the container. And then he took and put her in there, in the container there. And then he had me go get a plastic cup from the kitchen to run water from the sink right there in the bathroom to hand him so he could mix the concrete. And he did it right there in the box and made a bit of a mess of concrete on some of the walls and that. Didn't fill the entire thing or anything like that. It was mostly on the sides, a little on the top. You could still see the trash bag. And then he had me leave the room again, and he closed it up and told me to open the door so he could get outside with it. And he took it outside, took the box outside to the storage room, and he sat it right there in the doorway, right next to Riley's bike.
How long did Riley stay in the container, in the trash bags, in the storage building?
A good while.
What's a good while?
At least a month or 2. At least.
A month or 2? What you said?
And when this time period was over, how did she get from there to where she was discovered?
Well, he wanted to leave her in there longer. He wanted to just leave her there and let her decompose and leave it at that. But it was wrecking with my emotions. I was so upset after this. I mean,
All right. Then I'm gonna ask you another question. Did you or Royce participate in any cover-up recently of the whereabouts of Riley?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell us about that?
Well, when he found out that she'd been found, he started fabricating this story. I mean, originally we just told people Riley's staying with an uncle of mine that lives here in Texas, trying to protect her from Cheryl. And that's what we told. He told friends or coworkers. We told my dad, she's fine. She's sleeping now. You can't talk to her. You know, that kind of thing. We told his mom and dad, you know, she's safe. There's nothing. You don't need to worry about her or anything like that. Once this happened, he went and had a discussion with his mom and said, look, what the truth is, we don't have Riley. She's taken by Child Protective Services. She's in Ohio. Kim's dad's seen her with Cheryl. We know she's with them. And his mom was surprised. She wanted to know why we hadn't said anything earlier. And he just said, oh, but we were embarrassed because they accused Royce of sexual abuse, and we just couldn't tell anybody or whatever. I mean, it's almost like he was making up as he went to try and say, no, we haven't seen her since the end of July. She was taken, and we know she's in Ohio. We're gonna get her back, but right now we need to come stay with you to help with the finances, to make sure we have money to pay for attorneys, to pay to investigate, to find out exactly where they're hiding her, and to get her back.
Okay.
This all occurred after she was found, after it hit the news. This is when he started this with his mother. Is that correct?
It was a week after, because we didn't even know about it until a week after it hit the news. And he started all this with his mother, and all of a sudden we're packing up the house and putting anything of Riley's that was left in trash bags and taking them to the dumpster at his old apartment complex.
Did you go with him on one of those trips?
Yeah. He took about 3 trips. I mean, anything. Documents, pictures, toys, clothes, her bed, her mattress, her toys in the storage shed. I mean, anything sippy cups. And he scoured the house. I mean, you know, anything that said that we had a 2-year-old living with us at one point, gone. But at the same time, everything else in the house is leaving, going to storage, being boxed up, taken over into the storage he had his mom set up. And there's this story that you're gonna go to Gene Mink, which is the attorney.
Civil attorney.
Yeah. And show her and tell her what's gone on, that Riley's been taken by Child Protective Services and she's in Ohio and you haven't seen her, but your dad's seen her, and I mean, this all happened really, really fast after he
Hit the news.
it hit the news and he found out about it. And he said, "Oh yeah, we have a letter and that was left," and Kim was crying, and they just took Riley away. And
He's telling his mother this. Are you there when he's telling her all this?
I wasn't there, but it's been discussed many times.
Who typed the letter?
I did. He told me what to write and said he couldn't write it because of the work he did. They would be able to tell what kind of writing style he has, and it couldn't be his writing style. So he told me what to write, what to do, and practically stood over my bed watching me type it.
Did y'all save this document?
No, he had me delete it as soon as it was printed, erase the internet history. I didn't even know how to do that beforehand. But that was done on the laptop at his mother's house.
All right.
Let's go back a little bit. Are you done with that, Mike? Or I'm gonna go back?
Yes, go ahead, think of something.
Well, I want to go back to Riley was in the box in the storage building for a month or two. Now, this would have occurred, what did we decide? June 24th?
July,
July 24th.
end of July.
So it would have been October, or September, October. How did the body get moved? How did the crate get moved?
One night excuse me.
You need to take a break?
No, I'm okay.
You sure?
Yeah.
You want to walk around?
No, I'm okay.
All right.
I just,
Okay.
one night he decided that we needed to get rid of it. He really ideally wanted to keep it there, but it was starting to smell in the heat and everything else. And, I mean, I was an emotional wreck because I knew my daughter is dead in that box in that storage shed right there.
Mm-hmm.
And he decided it would be better if we took and moved it. So one night he got in the truck, he grabbed the box, put it in the back of the truck. He had put the gloves, the blue collar gloves back on to touch the box, put it in the back of his truck. Had me drive, or actually that first night he drove, and we drove north. He said we drove 2 or 3 counties away. It was complete darkness. He kept looking around. He had taken the shovel that he bought, looking for some place to dig up and bury her that night. And so he's driving and driving, and we must have drove 2 hours or more, looking down old country dirt roads, and we finally got to this place, piece of undeveloped land off the side of a farm road or something. I don't know where. But he got out and he pulled down this kind of driveway they had, and and into the woods over on the side here. And he got out of the truck, and I sat in there. And he went off to the side and started digging. And he must have been there half hour or so. Him trying to dig this hole. And he finally decided it was going to take too long to bury her.
Do you know that he dug a hole?
Yeah, but he covered most of the dirt back over when he decided that it was going to take too long.
Okay.
Was there any landmarks or anything that you thought if you ever got in that area again, you would know where it is?
It was dark. It was not far from a street that dead ended and then intersected. And then we turned right, and it was off to the left here. And
Do you think you could take us there?
You're not sure what county you were in?
no,
Or city?
I have
That's fine.
no
That's
idea. It's dark. I'm not from the area.
Right.
We turned down so many roads and streets, and I couldn't begin to imagine where.
Okay. So then what happened?
So he took and put the shovel back in the car. And
Is she in the back of the truck at this time?
yeah, and he drove us back home. And I mean, he drove us back, and she ended up back in the storage shed that night.
Now,
He
was this
concerned?
after it came out on the news?
No.
This is before.
This was before. This was back that month or two after it happened. This was
Yeah, what am I, that was
Yeah.
a dumb question,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't even know what I was
So we're looking at
thinking.
probably sometime in September.
end of August sometimes. Yeah. Still wasn't real cold or anything. But so we turned around and we drove back, and he was concerned about streetlight cameras catching his truck and the GPS track on his truck and his cell phone. He had turned his cell phone off, and he said, well, if they ever track where my truck had been, it'll just say we took a trip in the middle of the night to nowhere. And looking at the scenes. And then he drove us back home and put her back in the storage shed there. And had us try again the next night. And he originally wanted to take us to Lake Houston.
Lake Houston. Yeah.
And so I'm not sure if we drove past that. We might have drove past that the first night. But he got out of the car and looked over and saw that if you dropped off the side, there's grass under the bridge there. So it might not land in the water. And he didn't want to do that. So he wanted to, since he couldn't bury it, he had been looking for also places where construction was going on. They're ready to pour concrete or something like that. and but again, it ruled it out because it would take too long to dig the hole. And if it was anywhere close to a street, he didn't want to be seen. So the next night, we get in the truck again, and he puts her back in the back of the bed. Excuse me. And he has me drive this time. He didn't take us to 249 or to the interstate from Louetta where we were. I think he took us down Spring Cypress until it dead ended, and then over on whatever road that is to get onto the interstate that way. I remember him being concerned because I ran a yellow light, and he said I needed to be careful when I drove because I didn't want any of the cameras to get the license plate or anything like that. And so he told me how to get to Galveston. Told me where to go. And when we came up on the causeway, he wanted me to slow down and go over it real slow. It's like 1, 2 in the morning. Had to have been on a weekend. I don't think he did it during the week, or he would be too tired for work. But he had me drive real slow and have him so he could look over the side of the causeway. And he had gotten out of the truck once to look over the side and see.
So he had you actually stop on the bridge?
Yeah. He had me go across it and then make a U-turn and come back across it. And he had stopped on when we were coming back across. And he decided we couldn't toss her over there, but there was like a road next to the railroad tracks.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me to get off at that exit and go past, there's like a bar there, and go down some ways on this service road next to the railroad tracks. And he told me to turn off the car, turn off all the lights. He got his gloves on and went and grabbed her out of the back of the truck and tossed her over the side, and you could see her float. You could see the box float down back under the causeway. And he panicked and he got back in the car real quick and told me to back up and get out of there, but don't turn on my lights until I was closer to the street. I remember seeing a bird sanctuary. It's a bird sanctuary there. Sign. I had to turn around and don't hit anything, don't turn on your lights because there could be somebody in that building there.
With the building meaning the bar?
There's
Y'all behind the bar?
There's a bar, and then there was another like white building behind the bar, and there were some lights on in the white building.
Do you think you could show us that spot again? Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So anyway, I think I almost backed into the railroad thing there, or whatever it was, the metal box or whatever there associated with the railroad tracks.
You said you backed into it?
No, I almost did. I don't like backing up that far of distance, but anyway, we turned around and got out of there and drove home, and he was sitting there saying I should have drilled holes into the box to make sure it sank.
What was in the box, do you know? Besides Riley?
Riley and the bags and the cement.
There was cement in there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He wanted
Go ahead.
He'd wanted to put rocks or bricks or something in there, but I don't think he ever did. I'm not sure if he ever did or not.
What happened to the gloves? If he used the gloves?
Yeah, he took them back home, and they were thrown out with just a regular bag of trash.
Smart.
Does he watch a lot of those police shows?
Mm-hmm. He
Like
said
what?
he watches Law and Order, CSI. He said he took some courses in back in college. I'm not sure what exactly, but he said he had taken some courses and he knew that he had to do certain things.
Have you written any of this stuff down, Kim?
The only thing I wrote down was when he told me to write my story about Riley being taken by CPS. And then again, he told me to write my story that I did it all.
Would you be willing to make a phone call to him that is recorded? And maybe talk briefly about this? The point I'm trying to make is this. A phone call to him and somehow bringing up something about this case would help tie him in. I keep going to the fact that you've got to help me build a case on Royce, okay? For instance, maybe you can say, I don't know what to say, but there's apparently a hair that was found inside the bag. What do I do or what do I say? Would you feel comfortable asking him that, and do you think he would give you an answer? Not so much that you're talking to the
And
police.
maybe not get that direct, as maybe just get into
Yeah.
the fact that the police, they want to talk to me. I think there's something, they know something's up. What do I do? You know, what do I do?
He told you what to say.
He told me what to say to Tom.
Right. And what he told you to say to Tom, that's written down?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's written, what is written down on the spiral notebook at the house?
An account of what happened to Riley, in my handwriting, saying that I did it all and he was at work and has no idea.
Does he know where this notebook is?
He knows I brought it with me.
Okay, so a while ago you said it might still be at the house now.
There are two different notebooks.
Okay, where's the other one?
The other one is at the ends lane.
Okay,
And what's in that one?
That one is an account of Riley being taken by the Child Protective Services.
Oh, okay.
kind of what's in this letter that
Yeah.
was drafted. Okay, okay.
Does he know that's there?
I don't think he knows that one's there at the ends lane.
Okay, that was your somewhat, I guess, doodling of trying to get your thoughts together, how you wanted to do that.
Yeah, he wanted me to write that down because that was the story of what happened.
Okay. And once you converted it to the computer, you deleted that.
Well, it's not a copy of the letter.
Yeah,
And
no,
that's
no,
how.
but it's your
It's your
notes.
handwritten notes of
But
what
once you converted those notes to what you
no,
wrote in the letter.
It's not. It's an account of saying, I woke up that Friday morning, there was a knock at the door, Child Protective Service agent, and she had this letter that said Royce had sexually abused her, or Riley, or whatnot. I let her in after talking with her briefly, pushed me away, grabbed Riley and left, and then the next page was saying there was a page about what this person looked like, supposedly, and then there was a page of Rob, his name, his mother's name, relatives that are in Ohio that could possibly be hiding Riley.
Let me ask you this. At any time since the death of your daughter Riley to present, have you been concerned at any time for your safety with Royce? Now think hard about that question. I'm not trying to put words into your mouth, but have you been concerned that he might do something to you?
I was concerned he might leave me with nothing. You know, in Texas where I don't know anybody.
Let me ask you this. Why haven't you said anything sooner about this?
I couldn't. I put it in the back of my mind. I was living with him, and he would know if I said anything.
Excuse me?
He would know if I had said anything. I didn't even have to tell him. He knew that I said something to Tom.
He knew.
He knew. I wasn't acting right. He would know if I had said anything before that. And I mean, and not to get off subject, but also that night he had tried to commit suicide
Last weekend.
last weekend,
Okay.
yes. He had also had the gun sitting there on the side table next to the bed. And at one point he picked it up and pointed at his chest and made me hold it and was trying to get me to shoot him. Because I had betrayed him. I had told Tom. I had told Jean.
So he knows that the ghost has given up, at least to attorneys. He knows that.
That's why he had me come down today with that written story to convince Tom that no, what I had said the other day, that wasn't true.
Okay. All right. Let's get Mike in here on video to get the hair samples.
Yep.
Do you have anything else that you want to add? Is there anything that you'd like to say or add?
I think that's it.
Okay.
Val?
After hours in the interrogation room, Kimberly Trenor had given detectives more than enough. Her words, her confessions, and her chilling descriptions painted a picture no one wanted to see, but one the jury would never forget. Shortly after this interview, Kimberly was arrested and charged with multiple counts. The jury took less than 2 hours to reach a verdict. Guilty on all counts. Kimberly was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Today, she's serving her sentence in the Mountain View Unit, a maximum security women's prison in Gatesville, Texas. She was convicted not only for her role in Riley's death, but for the attempt to hide it, placing her daughter's body in a plastic container and discarding it like a forgotten object. This wasn't just a crime of violence. It was a crime of silence, of failing to protect, of trying to erase the life of a little girl who deserved so much more. Riley Ann Sawyers, known to the world as Baby Grace, was finally given her name back. But justice, even when delivered, can never replace the life that was lost.